If I stand up, I'm going to be wandering around everywhere, so I'm going to try and stay as still as possible. What will he say? What will he say? Now, I'm a massive West Wing fan, as you all know, and I like to be a bit arrogant and think I'm a bit of a Jeb Bartlett when really I'm more like a Donna, if you've watched West Wing. So I really struggled with this, so I have written it down. It's not usually my style, I usually like to freehand, but I'm going to just read it. So Guild Council, here we are. We've made it through another year, and not dissimilar to what the other officers said, it's been a difficult year. Now, a lot of you in this room are going to think that this is going to be a 5-minute speech where I'm going to rant on about what's happened between me and Ed, or my very no confidence, or the general fallout between myself and those of the political left of the spectrum. No, it's not, because you deserve more than that, and I think that me and my team have done far more than that. However, not to let you down, and not to let Red Brick go without a quote, so I know that they love to have my quotes, whether they're accurate or not. Usually are. It's difficult to act like a team when you don't all play ball. No one minds a critical voice as long as it's done in the fit and proper way. When something is fundamentally wrong, then you have to stick to your principles, and this is what I've always said. On this note, I'm going to be really upfront and blunt with Guild Council because you deserve it, and I don't think this has ever actually been said. If someone presented the allegations that were presented to me at the beginning of the year, I would still have done the same thing and suspended the officer with the consent of the rest of the officer team, because I believed that was what was right. What wasn't right was the length of time that it went on to, and that is my biggest regret of the year. I could have made my year far more politically easy if I had chosen the easy road, and that isn't what I was here to do. I wasn't here to neglect what my duties were. We may be a student union, but we are still a professional organisation. Unlike some, I came here to do something and not really to be someone. And like I said, what I would have done differently is made sure that the suspension didn't last as long as it did, and I do agree that we needed to reform the officer disciplinary policy, which has gone through. Differently though was my vote of no confidence, which was an extremely tough time for me. I would have definitely done things differently. Like I said, when I was getting a censure for it, I wouldn't have spoken to the university without fully knowing the implications of the questions that I was being asked. It was my biggest regret of this year, and it's something that I will always look back in shame upon. I stand by what I said when accepting my censure at last Guild Council, and again, Simon, I apologise for what happened there, and I hope you have a fantastic year in office, and I hope you heed the advice of the rest of the officer team and what we're going to go through in handover, because I think you've got so much potential to get things done. Separated but back to team dynamics, I got to say that I love my team. I've loved working with them. I've been frustrated by them at times. I've laughed with them. I've even cried with them. For me, I knew that I had my team just after my vote of no confidence was published. That day, I left work early because I was obviously really upset, and I was at home. And then that night after work, Hugo, Tim, Fliss, Suki, and Luke came over and offered their support for me. And I didn't know they were coming around, and this really did touch me, and it still touches me even now. Because in my heart of hearts, I knew they knew I'd been naive, and they knew that I'd made an unknown mistake, but they were still willing to stick by their president, they were still willing to stick by their teammate. I've always been a believer that the president, whether the first among equals or whatever the bylaws say or what anything goes about it, the president is the president, and they're there to support their team, and their team is there to support them. And at that moment, I knew that I had it. Yes, teams will not argue, they will not always fully agree. We'd be lying if we didn't, but we function, and we get stuff done, and we're able to make real changes to students' lives. Now, Ed, we've never really understood each other, and Red Brick said when, just after the election, dealing with, you get a lot of airtime, Red Brick, in my speech, right? Red Brick said, dealing with Bauer may be Harrop's biggest presidential challenge. And yeah, they were right. But you know what, I regret that I wasn't able to come speak to you more, and I regret that we weren't able to resolve our differences, or maybe the way we go about doing things in a better way. I don't think the fact that the suspension came about helped things at all, but I refer to what I said before. So unrelated, this year and in many past years, we see new officers be elected, and as soon as they take office, they sometimes get viewed as not trustworthy, or with suspicion by people, or some in this chamber who thinks that the officers don't have a democratic mandate or authorities to carry out their roles, which is kind of strange when we have more votes between us than most guild councillors put together. Some people find issue with a small sort of thing, and they think it's their given right to know everything and also decide on everything. Now, I don't necessarily disagree with this, but I think that we need to go about holding our officers to account in a much better way. Don't post on the online bloody forums. It doesn't work. It doesn't hold your officers to account in the best way possible. Going and speaking to your officers is the best way to hold them to account, and then if they shun you out, or they don't do what they say they're going to do, or you don't give them the opportunity, then post in the online forums, then ask them in guild council, then censure them, then do motions. The first point of call, like we've all said tonight, should be going to your officers. We could have saved a lot of time in guild council if that had happened. Things like the Liberation Room thing is something which sticks out in my mind so clearly. If people had gone to Fliss about it, it could have been resolved before the meeting. The officer disciplinary policy, the most controversial thing which happened this year, got sorted before we even came in the room, because interested stakeholders went and spoke to Hugo, who was leading on it, and we had the shortest guild council in history. I was so surprised. I got home before 8 o'clock. So moving on, I'm going to hurry up a little bit, because I know I'm ranting a bit. I'm going to miss that bit. What we found this year is that we need to have more compassion and understanding, and it's needed of all of us. And an even greater effort is needed. I think we're all tired. We're tired of the suspicion. We're tired of the online bickering, and we're tired of 6-hour guild councils, where at the end we can sometimes say, well, what did we actually achieve? Other students outside the chamber are also tired. They're tired of what they see as maybe an exclusive club, or a guild hacks, or people who love bylaws and governance. And there's nothing wrong in liking those things. It's just we've got to have a realisation it's not the only thing we can do. I've been shot down so many years for saying the SM word, the silent majority, and I know that people hate me for it, but they exist. It's your average Joe student. I class myself as that average Joe student. I've never been interested in governance or bylaws and stuff like that. I came here because I wanted to make a difference to students, and I hope that's what we did. I'm going to skip this bit. So there was a speech, I'll just tell you very quickly. At APL, a course in the summer, there's a speech writing class, and we got asked to write a speech on whatever we wanted, and they used quite a lot of West Wing things in there. And I wrote the speech, and it actually got told to be the best one in the seminar group that I was in. So when I came back, I put it on my pinboard, and I put it in a little envelope, put it on my pinboard, and I've never looked at it since. I looked at it earlier this morning, and it's strange because I kind of predicted a lot of things which was going to happen. Things like, we will not get it right all the time, and we won't expect you to believe what I think, but I hope you'll agree that as long as we lead, we can make real change. And I think that although we may not have led the best this year, we have made change, and it's been positive change. So, like I say, this year hasn't been perfect. I know it's been hard, I know it's been tough. There have been times when I've cried, there have been times, but these are outshadowed by the good times that I've had. I've loved being your president. Students is why I wanted to get elected. I wanted to make that difference to students' everyday lives and not focus only on national agendas. I wanted students to know that the Guild was here for them. I wanted students to have better access to university facilities and promote employability and carry on the great work that the Guild does every single day and often goes unthanked and unsung. I know that I've been a controversial figure this year. I know that there are things I could have done better. However, I know this. I love the Guild, I love students, and I love what we have here, and I always will look back on my time as president with joy. That history project makes me so proud to know that we are all a part of that history. We've all got our own story to tell in this building, and that will always be forever. And we'll be on, me and my team will be on this board, and maybe people in 30 years' time will be talking about people who are on the board then. We're not perfect, we never will be. If you're looking for your sabbatical officer team next year, or this year, in any year to be perfect, then you're basically saying, hey, lie to me. Everyone's got faults. Harness them, make them better, make the change. I'm not going to go on about the Joe's card. I'm not going to go on about my obsession with plug sockets in the library or the new library or plug sockets in general. Yeah.
More in this room.
Yes, I'll speak to that. But yeah, that will be in a blog, and I'll put this speech online for any bits that I've missed out. So now for the very quick thank yous. Staff-wise, I'm not going to thank them here because I want to thank them face to face, and a lot of the staff have become really good friends of mine, and they've really supported me this year, which has been some really, really tough times. I've probably got like 5 guild mums, some of which are guys. And I that's one of the biggest things, apart from students, I'm going to miss coming to work today with a fantastic staff team. Well and when the proverbial feces hit the fan, they're there to pick sabbaticals up, and they really do. And we couldn't do what we do without it. This job is stressful, and this is a bit of advice to all the sabbatical office teams. I said this to David the other day. You have to have people that you can fall back on outside of the guild, so they can just let you fume and not talk about work. It's cringy, and she's watching online, which is kind of even weirder, but I really need to thank my mum. I'm really massive mum's boy. She's been the rock for me, and she's always been there, and she probably knows far more confidential information than she really shouldn't. But it's alright, I trust her, she's my mum. And she knows that I love her more than anything, and my dad as well. He's probably saying, Mark, get on with it, son. But I want to thank my entire family, because they've always texted me asking how I was. They read Red Brick, they read my statuses and stuff like that. They know the year that I've had. Moving on very, very quickly. I just want to say thank you to my housemates, Susie and Jamie. When I walk in the door and slam my bag down, they know I've had a really shit day, and they know just how to cheer me up. I want to thank Adam for being the non-guilty person who puts everything into perspective. Although new to my life this year, he has been an amazing bloke, and I couldn't have done it without him. I also want to thank the man who got me here, Jack. He's also watching. He's the one who I thank the most when I won, and he's the person that I'm going to thank the most whilst I leave. This man is my best friend and my biggest confidant. He has stuck with me all year, and the guy that I needed. He's looked out for me, he's been my shoulder to cry on, and sometimes a bodyguard, believe it or not, and that's by him doing it, not me asking. At the Education Open Forum in Term 1, he was there by my side just to make sure that I was okay, even though nothing was realistically going to happen, but he was there anyway. At my scrutiny meeting for my vote no confidence, he was by my side. At Guild Council, he was in the room, not this one though. And at the Protest March, he was also by my side. Top of this, my housemates Susie, Jack, Adam, Susie and Jamie and Hugo, when they all come over for Shilly Sundays, where we just watch movies and takeaways and just forget about life. It's the best thing. Finally, my team. Again, similar to staff, I'm going to thank you all individually, because I couldn't have done it without you. I spoke before about how well we supported each other this year. I want to thank you for doing such a great job, and it's been a real honour to be your president, and it's been a real honour to be someone who I think has supported you, and that you've come to me when you've needed me, and I've come to you when I've needed you. Through thick and thin, we've stuck at it, and I know most of us will be lifelong friends. And I'll say more to them in private, but I want it on record that I couldn't have chosen better people to work with. Finally, I want to thank you, the students. I haven't written this bit, but similar to Felicity's Guild Award speech, I want you to know that this is completely ad-libbed, but a few notes. I never thought I'd be president of a students' union. I came to university, I'd been bullied at primary school, I'd got a bit more confidence at high school, but then when you said to me, when I started university, Mark, one day you'll be the president of a 28,000 member organisation, dealing with some of the stuff that we've had this year, I would have said, get lost, that's not me. I remember coming to Guild Council and seeing Fabian talking about this Israel-Palestine thing, which I didn't really understand, and I don't think anyone ever will understand, if I'm being quite honest, but and it's one of those things whereby you think to yourself, could that really be me? And it can, if you want it to be. So Finally, like Dora said to me, I'm going to say to David, you're going to do great, mate. You've got my number. Ring me when you need me. I'm going to be watching these Guild Councils live, mate, so I'm going to be seeing you sat right there. You're going to do great. Harness your team, harness the students, harness Guild Council, harness university. You've got a great head on your shoulders. And good luck for the rest of the year. Everyone in this room, the best of luck in whatever you do. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm proud to be president. I'm proud of you. I respect you, every single one of you. And I hope that not everything that I've done has been viewed as evil. I did my best. I couldn't have given it more. And I can't really believe it, but that's it. Thank you very much.